take your seats, please. As you can see, we have again a full agenda. So please take your seat. Any questions from yesterday? Huh? You know, if you don't have questions, I have questions. So it's better you to ask things instead of me. Huh? What do you remember from yesterday? Yes, most likely. Flavia did a lot of, they did a very nice job presenting a lot of interesting tips. Yes, a lot. So let's try to put the headlines on them. So you can remember she presented a lot of calls. The two destinations, I think the names of the destinations are 3 and 4. But the first one was about circular economy, and the second one about net zero economy. Okay. However, I know that some of you were interested in other calls, but she gave you the intelligence behind each one of those calls, if you can recall. So when she was presenting each one of those different topics, she was actually focusing on some specific pieces of information. Do you remember them? What was she starting? First of all, what was in her slides? One is the policy, very good, thank you. One was the policy context, the policy documents that you need to read, be familiar, that are related to the call. And why this is important? Why this is important, the policy documents? So you're going to define the frame of the project, or you need to align the project, or you need to show that the project objectives, your own project objectives, support the policy, some requirements from the policies related to that call. Now, where do you see reference on those policy documents? Inside the call topic. If you read the call topic, you will see that you need to consider that, and that policy documents. They are mentioned there somewhere. Yes, something like that, exactly. At the bottom, maybe at the end of the call topic, it depends on the call topic. So you outline them in any call, and you need to read them. And to see how you're going to address some of those, which of those policy requirements are related to your project objectives. So that's one thing that she did. The other thing that she did from the first slide on each call, what was it? Do you remember? Exactly, the expected impact. She said, which of those 5 expected impacts that are in the destination, because not all the expected impacts are applicable to all the calls. There are some 1 or 2 expected impacts that are related to each call topic. So what actually Flavia did yesterday, she said, for each one of those calls, this is 1 or 2 expected impacts that are related. That was also very useful. Now I have a question for you. What is an expected impact? What is an expected impact? Strategic plan, something a little bit more concrete, so we can be able to address that in our proposal, because you know, strategic plan sometimes it can be a little bit vague. Do we have a nice definition of expected impacts? So your colleague says, because we don't have a microphone here and there are some people from the Zoom, so the colleague says, these are the impacts that can be applicable for a wider population, for whole Europe, and even beyond that. It could be that, but I want to go one stage before that. Whenever you see the word impact, that means what? Benefits. Yes? So always remember that. Why? Because this is easier to understand. So benefits for whom? And benefits when? And this is exactly the question that you need to think of. So expected impacts are long-term benefits. Why? Because if you're going to address the whole Europe, it's impossible to do it by the end of the project. Yes, you cannot do that. You don't have the resources. So you have to work, you have to do after the project end, a lot of dissemination, communication, in order to engage as many target groups as possible, if possible, overall Europe, in order to enjoy those benefits. So expected impacts are the long-term benefits from your project results, because we need to know where those benefits will come. Those benefits will come from the project results. So I repeat, expected impacts are the long-term benefits from the project results, from your project results. And I will be a little bit more specific also. When we say long-term benefits, it's always nice to give also a timeline when those benefits we expect to be achieved. So you need to think as a project partner or as a project coordinator when you are going to achieve those benefits after the end of the project for X number of target groups. Normally, and I'm going to give you a rule of thumb now, whenever we talk about long-term benefits, we mean within 5 years after the end of the project. But that depends on the project. Sometimes it can be 10 years, 15 years if it's a health-related project, because you need to go through some specific approvals. But normally, as a rule of thumb, we mean the benefits from your project results within 5 years after the end of the project. Why 5 years? Because 5 years is a nice strategy, first of all. It's good to have not 10, not 3, 5 is something that is more possible. And secondly, all the project results, I don't know whether you know that, in Horizon Europe, according to Article 27 or Article 29 from the grant agreement, Flavia yesterday showed also the grant agreement a little bit, the mandate. All the projects that are funded from Horizon Europe are subject to an impact audit up to 5 years after their end. So whenever you finish your project, that doesn't mean that you're okay. You might be audited, not from the financial point of view, but from the impact point of view, up to 5 years after its end. So you said to me that you're going to achieve that, and that impact. What have you achieved within those 5 years after the end of the project? Is the European Commission very strict on that? We don't know, because we haven't any projects that have finished and see whether they are audited from the impact point of view. One question, maybe you can have the microphone.
Thank you. Is it a random audit, or is it applicable for all the projects which are finished?
All the projects are subject to an impact audit. Now, whether there is going to be a random selection or not, this is up to the European Commission. Maybe they will check the comments from the final review. If the final reviewer said that we have some concerns regarding the impact, maybe they will have that as an indicator to examine it. But no one knows that. And we don't know whether they're going to apply that.
Thank you.
Okay. So these are the expected impacts. And then when we have expected impacts, also Flavia yesterday showed what? Expected outcomes. So what are the expected outcomes in comparison to expected impacts? Expected impacts, we see them from the introduction of each one of those group call topics, and the expected outcomes are actually within the call topic description. So what are expected outcomes? In big area? Impact in big area. So then what's the difference with expected impact? Oh, no, we need to be more specific. I will give you a hint. You are close, but not that close. The hint is the time frame. When we expect to achieve the expected outcomes are again expected benefits, as well as expected impacts, as well as expected benefits also. However, as we've seen, expected impacts we expect to happen within 5 years. Expected outcomes are benefits from the project results by the end of the project. By the end of the project. The definition European Commission says by the end or shortly after. But shortly after is a little bit vague. What do you mean shortly after? By the end of the project, because you're going to have an advantage. So make sure that you have a clear timeline when you will achieve those expected outcomes. So benefits from your project results by the end of the project. So that was something else that we've seen with Flavia. Then she went to the next slide, and there she talked about scope objectives. Yes, you know here you want the scope. So what are the scope objectives? Copy and paste from the call topic. We had from the call topic scope objectives. She outlined them. So what are these? The scope objectives. They are your project objectives. What you need to have in your project. So they already show that to you, right? And then she said things to be careful, or things keep in mind. Okay. So then these were also some other important elements according to her view that she took from the call topic. And the last thing that she did, that was very important, that was her third slide per call topic, was previously related projects. And why we need to know previously related projects? She commented on that. Why? Thank you. One thing is I will repeat that. Don't worry, not to repeat the same objectives. So not to make sure that you go buy on what has already been developed. So you are going to use that in the state of the art. One thing, to do something that hasn't been done so far. So that's the first. We have 3 uses of that. So that's the first use. Second use, why we need those projects. So the first use is to go beyond.
Project.
Communicate with them to include them in the next project. What does that mean? To invite them as partners. Why? Because they are already experienced in the same area. Or to contact them and see whether they are initiating a proposal under this call, and we could be partners of that.
Yeah.
Yes? So that's the second use. And the third use, you see very important uses. The third use, yes, exactly. Use the results of those projects as starting points in your own project. And experiences and results. So you don't start from zero. Most of those projects are research, innovation actions. So what does that mean? That means that they don't start from zero. They start already something has to be done. Either within your consortium, or some partners have done that, or from previously projects that you have the copyrights or you're cooperating with them and you can use them. And this is very important to understand. If you do understand this, then you are 60% ahead than all the other grant applicants. And no ChatGPT or BART or any other AI can give you an advantage on that. Yes? No, yeah, we're just joking here. Don't worry, don't worry. Yes? Okay. So it's good to have that in mind. And that is the framework of each call topic. So if there was any call topic that it wasn't addressed yesterday from cluster 6, you know now how you're going to scrutinize the information. Is that clear? Yes? Thank you for that. So we did that. And then what Flavia did is in the afternoon session, so she had to go through a marathon to describe you all this. Actually, she didn't have to. She could just tell you what I just told you now. Details and how to do it. But I think since we focused on those 2 destinations, to show you and make some work for you, because what she did, she identified already previously funding projects related to those calls. That was very good for her. What else she did? She identified expected impacts. She correlated expected impacts with those call topics. These 2 elements are not in the call topic description. Yes, you have to think about them. She did that for you. And that was a big thanks to her for doing that. All right. And then in the afternoon, What we did, we went to the proposal development cycle. So she discussed to you two different streams. One stream was what are your steps in order to that you have to follow when you are a coordinator. And the other thing is what is your path? What are your steps in if you are a partner or if you want to become a partner? And these are the things that exactly we're going to see in a little bit more detail today, because in the agenda you see next steps for Turkish beneficiaries in cluster 6 calls. So we're going to discuss some more things, some more details regarding those steps today with me. And also what she did, she gave you, to all of you, hints as well as examples how to build each one of the different sections in the grant application. She actually overdid it. She talked to you even in part A about the ethical part. She talked about the multi-actor approach. Then she went to part B, because the grant application consists of two parts, part A and part B. Part A is the administrative information, as well as some more information that is quite standard that you need to comply with. And the second one, part B, is the technical description. What you're going to achieve it, why you're going to achieve it, how you're going to achieve it, and who will be the one that is going to achieve it. All these things are in part B. In part B, we have three parts: excellence, impact, and implementation. Excellence is the one that, as the name indicates, why this solution, why this project is important for society and for the scientific community. For society in order to address some challenges, for the scientific community in order to overcome what has already been developed, so to provide some new knowledge, some new solutions that we don't have them. So all these are in the excellence part. And then we have in the impact that we need to describe. Whenever we see the word impact, what do we mean? Impact means what? Benefits. Always that. Always remember that, because it will make your life much easier. So what will be the benefits from your project to direct target groups and to wider target groups like citizens also? So you need to go a little bit beyond. So explain that. And then what will be the strategies also for achieving the expected impact and expected outcomes, as well as what will be your dissemination and communication measures. Also, in the impact, she highlighted the difference between dissemination and communication. Can you remind that to me? What's the difference between dissemination and communication? You remember that there was one slide that talked about that. So what is the difference? Because some people are getting confused, and I really like that Flavia highlighted that difference. I will give you another hint. Both of them start with the same part of definition. Dissemination and communication is promotion and raising awareness. You promote something and you raise awareness about that something. So what is dissemination and what is communication? Very good. So give me the definition of dissemination. Is promotion and raising awareness of project results. Excellent. So that's the dissemination. I will have to repeat that because he didn't have microphone. I like that. So dissemination, it focuses on results. So it's promotion and raising awareness of project results. So what is communication? Again, promotion and raising awareness of what? Of project overall. Thank you for that. Of project overall. So what is project overall? Let's be a little more specific. Project info. Who is participating in the project? What is the budget of the project? When the project starts, when is expected to finish? What are the achievements of the project? What are the project activities? What are the expectations of the project? And this is why under communication, we have definitely one more target group that we don't have in some cases for dissemination. What is that? Is citizens. Why citizens? They need to know about their project overall, project achievements. Why? Because in the long term, it's going to benefit them. If you have the expected impacts, the expected benefits, most of them are for the citizens. So that's why one of the extra target groups that you have in communication, and in many cases you don't have for the dissemination, because the results by the end of the project, you don't expect them to be used by the citizens. Why? Because if you've seen if it's a research innovation action, the maturity of your solution, the TRL, is going to be 5, 6, 7, something like that, not more than that. So still you need to do some work in order to make it ready for people to use it, in order to reach TRL 9. What is TRL 9? When you have the complete solution ready and penetrates society, penetrates the market. So you see how all these things are very well related. And then we have the implementation, and in the implementation is more or less the activities that you need to undertake in order to achieve the promised objectives from the excellence. And there, she said don't have that many work packages. She highlighted that, very good tip for you. Not that many deliverables. She highlighted that for you. We discussed together, if you can recall, milestones, and there is a bad example in the grant application that is quite misleading. What was that? Can you recall? We discussed that. Milestone, what is it? It's an indicator that allows you to assess the performance of a specific activity at a given time. This is what a milestone is. How can we know that what we did is of good quality, more or less? That's a milestone. And European Commission had as an example on that, under means of verification, a prototype up and running. Do you remember that example? What is wrong with that example? What is wrong with that example? So, something exactly that. So, up and running doesn't say anything to me. I can make something, I can put it up and it runs, but it doesn't function as I want it to function. But still, the milestone has been achieved. Why? Because it is up and running. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work as I want. It is up and running. So this is not a quality indicator of, it is not a means of verification of a nice milestone. On the contrary, if you have a prototype that is up and running with X% accuracy, with X% efficiency, with X% something, then you have a milestone. Or even if you don't want to be that specific, let's say at least or around X% something. Do you follow that? Because this is very important. That makes the difference between a winning proposal and a failed proposal. And we talked about the risks. She gave you already some risks. And what we added on top of that is that we need to have risks per what? Per, you remember? Risks per what? Per, or a little bit wider, per work package. So that means that each work package leader is responsible at least to specify their own risks. So if you're a coordinator, you ask from your work package leaders to give you their own risks that they believe should be applicable in their own work package. Or if you are a partner and you are a work package leader or even a task leader, you indicate what will be those risks that you believe can be applicable in your case. When, I'm an expert also on behalf of the European Commission. So sometimes the European Commission engages me to evaluate some proposals. One of the things that we see and we attack in the implementation is the milestones and the risks. And in most of the cases, you will see that if a proposal hasn't been funded, you will see that one of the comments that they receive is on the risk table. The risk is very generic, or the risk hasn't been addressed adequately, or they are not aligned with the project ambition. This is what they say. It's copy and paste. You don't want to receive that kind of comment. That's why you ask the work package leaders to give you an exhaustive, as many as possible, as 3, 4 risks that they can see for their own work package. Clear? Any other questions? Huh? Anything else? I would like to. Okay. So if you don't have questions, you don't have excuse. You have to do these things afterwards. Yes? Yes? One question here. The guy on the corner.
Kalimera.
Kalimera. United,
So my
yes.
question is for communication dissemination, all the projects, it's like a must, you have to have it. And we have a separate company, it's called the Water Channel, Friends of Water Foundation that, we established a long time ago. So it has a huge amount of followers and so on. And we have number of people are working full time for this foundation. What if project is not really related to the water, but do you think it's still possible to join as a partner?
Depending on the number, on the type of target groups that are on the Water Foundation. Because if all the followers are related to water activities, then it's not suitable.
Okay.
If you can say, if the Water Foundation is a member of a European association, that it doesn't deal only with water things, then yes. Otherwise, it's not that clear. They can have a smaller part only for the water-related activities.
Yeah, and regarding the expected impact, do we have to always quantify?
Yes, if you want to be successful, yes. There are some projects that they have been awarded even though they were not that well quantified, but this is probably because the competition in that call was not that high or that competitive. If you want to make sure that you will increase the chances of being successful, you need to have quantified. If you cannot quantify an expected impact, you don't include them. So as you see in some proposals that they deal with the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. And you say, yes, they will support Sustainable Development Goal 3, 4, and 17. But they don't give any numbers how they're going to contribute towards the achievement of those targets, because every Sustainable Development Goal has a specific quantified target. But they don't explain how they're going to contribute. So this is something that is waste of text that you should not have it.
But for instance, if you have separate work package that calls KPI, and if you will mention all the KPI, all the quantify the, what we're gonna do in the project lifetime, do we still have to mention everything, like repeat again on the expected impact?
Yes, because in the work package you don't have. You say that you're going to develop some KPIs.
No, like there is a separate work package. It's called KPI.
Yes.
Sometimes we write like,
yes, you have a work package that is called KPI.
Sí.
But the work
Sí.
package hasn't been developed yet. You're planning to have a work package with the name KPIs. So you're saying in that work package with the name KPI that during by month 6 of the project, we're going to specify what will be in detail those KPIs that we will have for each activity. I'm saying now, I don't know, but since it's a work package, this is something that you have to do it during the project execution. Work packages are implemented during the project execution. But what we're asking you now is not to do that, to wait to do them during the project execution. You need to do a preliminary set of KPIs now that you write the proposal. Okay. One more question here. Our lady here.
Thank you. In some of the call texts, there's a reference to CCRI or JRC. How we should manage or approach during the preparation of proposal, and also if we financed, how they will get involved in the project. Can you give
Yes.
some more information about?
Okay, we asked that specific question to Flavia yesterday, and when the project is awarded, is it easy thing? Why? Because as long as it is awarded, the CCRI has already a memorandum of collaboration, and they will work with you. They say, you contact the general email of CCRI. You say, we have been awarded this project. Please, we would like to collaborate with you. This will be the project results. We need to see how this can actually benefit your own purpose and establish some synergies. Let's have it. So this is one thing. During the project planning.
One
Yes?
question. as a human resource, they are getting involved in the project, yes? As a,
Yes, and they don't receive funding.
yeah.
So
But
they,
there are some people from,
yes, 1 or 2 people will be involved, not more than that.
Okay.
Mainly for following up your project and seeing what kind of those results can be used in their own databases or in
like
their
a,
own.
like a beneficiary, yes? Or different
A
position?
beneficiary, but a beneficiary that doesn't receive funding. Normally in the European Commission jargon, whenever you use the word
Ah,
beneficiary,
they got money.
this is one that receives funding. So you, another term that is a very nice term is an associate partner.
Let's say they are in the team, yes? Let's say the consortium is a team, and
They are mentioned already in part of the consortium.
Uh-huh.
Now, I will tell you one thing. If you manage to have the CCRI or any other body,
GRC is similar.
yes, or
Some
the Joint
calls,
Research Center, the as associate partners already, so to agree to be now, even if the proposal is not accepted yet, to be mentioned as associate partners, then that's a big plus.
But is it
It's not obligatory.
okay to approach them? We are preparing this proposal. Do you want to involve in this process? Is it okay for them?
I always say something even to my kids. You can ask anything from anyone as long as you ask it kindly. So ask it kindly. The worst thing that can happen is to reduce. So you have nothing to lose.
Okay.
It's exactly the same thing. You are exactly in the same situation as you were before.
but there is it doesn't make sense because the call required the GRC or CCRI involvement after the project, which so everybody needs to contact with them. So this is unfair. If they say that, yes, we are going to your team, they have to say that to all people.
They're going to say that to all people that they contacted them.
They're contacting them.
So,
This is
not
this
all
is a call
people-
requirement. We
yes.
have to do that.
Not all people contacted them.
Okay.
So the ones that are a little bit
Just
brave
mention.
and they find an email address or and they find a specific person.
Yeah, we already did
And
it.
they have already connection.
Previous call, we contact with GRC because the call say that you have to collaborate with GRC.
Yes?
But we don't write any of them name in the proposal or something like
Not
that.
the name of the individuals, the name of
Yes.
the JRC. Did you write that? The name?
Yes.
But did you manage to have them as associate partners or not?
We didn't mention any. They are going to be associate partners as well. But we say that we contacted.
We couldn't reach the right person actually. We reached the GRC, but we couldn't reach what team or what department exactly will be responsible for our call.
So what was the response of that when
Yeah,
you contacted them?
like you explained, we will be included in the end of if you are financed, then yeah,
So
that's
since you have already contacted them, you have one advantage. And that advantage is that in the excellence section you say, we are already in communication with the JRC and expressed their positive response
Okay.
as long as the proposal is accepted.
yeah,
Is
okay.
that-
That's
Is that the case?
positive.
Can you mention that? But you cannot mention that if you haven't contacted them.
Yeah.
Yes or no? You cannot mention that
that's
if you
true.
haven't contacted them. You cannot mention that we are already in communication with JRC if you haven't contacted them. So that gives you an advantage, yes or no? It gives
Okay.
you, because you have already contacted them.
But Tor document mentioned that, so I think that everybody must contact with them.
So this is what they say is the document mentions that,
Say
and
that.
you think
Yeah.
is something completely different than what happens in reality. Okay. So that's why we have here clear steps of what you have to do. If everyone thinks, and now there is a big difference between thinking and acting. You are actors here. You are not supposed to think. You are supposed to act first, and then you think. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? Nice questions. I like because it disrupts your mentality, because you need to remember something. What is common sense is not common practice. Yes, it's common sense to have the JRC being contacted, but it's not a common practice. All right. This is how you're going to make the difference. Okay. Can we have the slide displayed? We don't have any questions from the Zoom, do we? Any questions from the Zoom? No. Okay, so this is session 6. So how to explore successfully the targeted cluster 6 calls as a Turkish beneficiary. I mean, already Flavia mentioned that, but I would like to have a little bit more focus and emphasize some of the things that she said. So, let me see. So we have two approaches, as Flavia said. Some steps as coordinator, and then we will see similar steps as a partner or a potential partner. So let's see the steps in an outline here, and then we will see them one by one. So first step, and I would like to differentiate them with the steps that we will see as a partner. So I have step 1C, that stands for coordinator, and for partner, it will be step 1, what? Thank you, that's nice. So we have step 1 as a coordinator. You need to identify the most appropriate call to focus. Yes, you need, actually, as a coordinator, you cannot get involved in many different calls because, as your colleague said yesterday, it is a quite effort-intensive task, so you need to focus in one call. Very rarely we have one focusing in 2 calls because you need a lot of resources. So the first step is this one. Then as soon as you complete that step, then you need to study the call in detail based on the philosophy that Flavia showed to you yesterday. And you take out the information that we just discussed. Then based on that information from the step 2, you need to prepare what? Your proposal concept, your proposal summary. What is a proposal summary? More or less what you're going in 3 or 4 pages, what you're going to achieve, why you're going to achieve it, why it is ambitious, and who will be the one, what type of expertise you need in order to achieve that. That's all. Nothing more than that. This is the proposal concept, the proposal summary. Okay, we prepare that, then we want to get some feedback from policy officers, if that is possible. If we have a colleague of you yesterday raised the lobbying thing, whether we can contact some people from the European Commission. Flavia said this is not a practice that we have in Italy, but if you, in some cases it can work. So as I said, you have nothing to lose. You can ask anything from anyone as long as you ask it nicely. So the worst thing that can happen is that you can get a rejection, but you are in the same situation as before. So you have the feedback from anyone that we will see from whom we will get feedback. Then you have the green light to go to the next step. And the next step is now, okay, let's finalize the core consortium. Those core partners, not all the consortium, but at least those core partners that we're going to use in order to develop further the proposal. These are the ones that we absolutely need. Any other partner that we will have will be an optional one, but we need those core partners as the stepping stone in the development of our proposal. Then we go to the next step, step 6, where we coordinate the grant application writing. As a coordinator, you don't write the whole proposal. I know that in most of the cases you are writing the whole proposal if you are a coordinator, but this is not the best practice. The best practice is to have the proper team, we will see that, on board and delegate according to their experiences who writes what. And you are coordinating, you are doing the quality assurance of that. So you're doing that, and then you have the full proposal externally evaluated, and of course the last step is you're submitting the proposal. These are the, how many steps? 8 steps that you need to follow, and we're going to see them one by one, briefly, but you will get the idea behind each one of them. So the step, so you need to identify the most appropriate call and how you're going to identify the most appropriate call. And there are 3 conditions that you need to feel comfortable with. The 3 conditions are, first of all, that you need to make sure that you have the expertise related to that call. So how do you look whether you have that kind of expertise? What do you use? What do you use? You use what? You have your expertise. So based on your expertise, what do you specify? Based on your expertise, what do you specify? What are keywords? Not a whole profile. Keywords. I'm an expert in water management. Think water management. Which calls are dealing with water management? That's or something. You specify those 5 or 6 keywords according to your expertise. Then you make sure that you can do some search and you go to those calls that they are dealing with your expertise. So you have that. Then you need also to make sure, and this is for me the most important thing that we discussed also yesterday, you should be absolutely confident with your team that you are you can specify the state-of-the-art limitations. If you cannot do that, you cannot specify convincingly, according to your view, of course, that you can go beyond what currently has been developed, then you are in a very weak position for that. You don't have the expertise for that core topic. That core topic requires to make sure with your researchers from 3 or 4 universities to go through and identify what are the state-of-the-art limitations. What is a limitation? What hasn't been achieved so far from the research community in your area. Limitation 1, limitation 2, limitation 3, or limitation 4. So your objective will be actually to overcome those limitations. But in order to show how you're going to overcome them, you need to identify them. If you cannot identify those state-of-the-art limitations, then you stop there. This call is not for you. Is that clear? Yes? It's very important to have that. Most of the proposals fail there. And Flavia tried to highlight that yesterday. I hope it was made clear. If you cannot specify convincingly the state-of-the-art limitations, this call is not for you. Maybe you are good as a partner, but not as a coordinator with your core team. Choose another one. Or don't act as a coordinator. Approach as a partner. But this is a green traffic light or a red traffic light. Do you follow that? That's very important. And we have that. Okay. Then you check whether, and this is another plus advantage, that you have already access as a starting point to other solutions, knowledge that has been developed in previously projects. Internal ones, national ones, European ones, global ones, international ones, it doesn't matter, but you need to make sure that you have already been involved, you or some of your core partners, the ones that you're working with. Or you have access to them. Even if someone else has done that, you need to make sure that you have access to them. If you don't have access to them, this is not the call for you as a coordinator. Do you follow that? Because this is important. I'm going to save you a lot of effort. You're not going to waste resources if you don't answer yes to all these questions. So these are all traffic lights. Okay. So am I able to identify the state-of-the-art limitation? Green traffic light, if it's yes. If it's no, we stop there. If it's yellow, what is yellow? Maybe. That's a question mark. You're risking. Because in the same way that you cross a road and you cross with yellow, you don't know what will happen. In the same way, you're risking your process here to waste a lot of resources. The same also to make sure that you have access to other solutions that can be used as starting points. And of course, you need to make sure that you have the expertise to lead the consortium, to lead the proposal writing process as a coordinator. If you don't have that, choose to become a coordinator. Partner, sorry, not a coordinator. So these are traffic lights. Okay, then another traffic light. You've seen that Flavia said that you need to prepare yourself how many months? 6 months, 7 months before. So do you have the time ahead, 3 to 5 months to lead a proposal? I mean, the deadlines of the calls that we're examining now are in February. Yes, 16th, I don't remember the exact date. but this is mid-February 2024. So we have October, okay, we're okay. So we have a whole November, whole December, and whole January, and probably whole February, because it's not the end of October. So it's all ready for March. Okay, that we can start even now. That can be acceptable. And do you have the people to support you in proposal writing? You're going to do everything on your own? That's a big question mark. We don't want that. So, okay, we answered that also as yes. So these are traffic lights. Then the next one, do you have access to a wide network of all the key actors from various EU member states? Even if you don't have now, can you identify? Are you confident that you will be able to engage stakeholders from a wider EU network? Then that's okay. You go next to the next one. And for me, also very important, winning proposals under cluster 6, they need to have a lot of associate partners. So can your network involve many associate partners? Associate partners, I remind you, is what we used to have in the previous calls, a letter of support. So can you have now organizations that they're not going to receive funding, but instead of giving you now a letter of support, to agree to participate in your project with zero budget as associate partners? They will not sign they will not have a commitment with the European Commission. So, but they will be, they are interested to be involved in the project because they are interested in the project results. So that's why they participate, mainly end users. We expect to have them. If you answer yes to all those, then you have a big yes that you have the appropriate profile for leading a proposal under cluster 6. The stronger, the biggest the number of yeses you have here, the stronger is your profile as a coordinator. Clear? Yes? Any questions on that? Okay. Step 2. Okay. Now we have the big yes that we can act as a coordinator. Then as soon as we study the targeted call, we need to be able to do what Flavia did yesterday for each one of those calls. She identified the key challenges. Do you she understood what should be the results and objectives that are expected from your project? You need to make sure that you have some clear idea what those should be. You need to make sure what should be the expected benefits from your project results, either by the end of the project or some years after the end of the project. What is this one? What is this one? Based on that, what's another name? Huh? Very good. Nice. And this one? Expected impact. Very, very good. So you get, now you understand the meaning behind it. Yes? And okay, do you have a clear idea also how big your consortium should be? And not only how big should be from the geographical point of view, but also what type of organizations you need. Do you need also end users? Do you need also policy advisors? Do you need policy makers? Do you need SMEs? What they will do all these different types of organizations? So you need to make sure that you have that kind of knowledge, you know already. You on that. And have you noticed some other peculiarities or specificities that can make the difference? One can be, for example, if you can manage to have as an associate partner the Joint Research Center or the CCRI, or another one is that they realize that you need to have, as Flavia said in one of the calls, that you need to have the water utilities authorities. Yes, we've seen that in one call. This is a must. I mean, you need to, these are specificities that will make the difference. If you don't have that, your proposal will fail. Yeah, so you have that here. So this is step 2 that we have. We got that, we are confident that we have all that kind of information from the call. Then we go to the next step. Then we prepare the proposal summary. Yes. So what are the contents of the proposal summary? We should not be the proposal summary if we haven't understood fully the call topic profile. So the success of the whole proposal depends on how well you have scrutinized, you have investigated the call topic description. I think we had, I think it was you that you were saying to me that you have been reading the call topic how many times? You were successful in a proposal, weren't you? How many times you read the call topic description? A lot, eh? I mean, you told me something more than 50 or 100. So they have been reading the call topic all the time, and they got accepted the proposal. Was it a mission one or? So it's a mission. It's a very challenging one, but they have been doing that. So that's important. You see that in practice. So you read the call topic, and then based on the call topic description, you prepare the 3-4 pages that are the key problem that you're going to address, as well as the key purpose will be the key aim or the key solution of your project. One challenge, one purpose. Flavia said that also yesterday. Then which are the scientific and if there are any social and economical problems that are applicable now and we need to provide solutions. So social and economical challenges are the ones that we need to make sure that are going to address the society and the market, and scientific ones are mainly the state-of-the-art limitations. Scientific challenges are the state-of-the-art limitations. Social and economical challenges are the problems that society faces because we don't have that knowledge from the scientific point of view. And economical challenges as we spend a lot of money or we don't exploit some market opportunities because we don't have that knowledge. There is that state-of-the-art limitation. So we need to be very clear on that. So when we have problems, what do we need? We need what? When we have problems, what do we need? We need solutions, exactly. So these will be your objectives. So based on the problems that you have identified above, then you work on your solutions. Because you cannot have solutions if you don't have problems. Do we agree on that? So one of the most common mistakes that takes place in proposal writing is you're writing the excellence and you start 1.1 and you say the project objectives are. So you're telling me the project solutions are without telling me what is the problem. Yes or no? Albert Einstein, once he said that if my life was depending on the solution to one problem and they were giving me 1 hour to find the solution, I will spend 55 minutes understanding the problem and 5 minutes giving the solution. That strong is also that what we need. If you don't have and understand what are your problems, your solutions are going to be very weak. All right, so you have them. Then now you have already addressed the key problems, the scientific ones, lack of knowledge, but now you elaborate more. Why we have that kind of scientific limitations? Why no one has managed to overcome them yet? Why we have those state-of-the-art limitations in the area of your call topic? So you see there is a lot of work that you need to do here, but it's very important. Then as soon as you explain what are the state-of-the-art limitations and no one has managed, and why no one has managed to overcome them, because if you don't manage to explain why no one has managed to overcome them, and then it's not a limitation, isn't it? You cannot convincingly tell me that's a limitation if you cannot explain to me why no one has managed to overcome that limitation. And then the methodology is going to be very easy. Why? Because the methodology will focus on how to overcome the resource and expertise needed to overcome each one of those identified limitations. I'm giving you now the process how to write the whole proposal actually. But we outlined that in the proposal concept and the proposal summary. And last but not least, as long as you have identified what is the activities, the expertise and the resource that needed, what type of organizations we need, type of organizations, not specific names of organizations, that they have the needed expertise and resources for overcoming those state-of-the-art limitations. That's it. You have that in the proposal concept, the proposal summary, and the stronger your analysis is on the proposal summary, the stronger will, because it's a foundation of the whole proposal, the higher will be the quality of your proposal. So you need to spend a lot of emphasis in building the proposal summary. Flavia yesterday talked actually the amount of time when you should start working on the proposal summary. She said something like, I think 3-4 months before the submission deadline, even 5 in some cases, she said. So you have that here. Now, I'm going to give you a very clear tip. Don't go from the key challenge, don't go to the methodology. So don't go from 1 to 5. I see that very often. You need to follow that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You need to follow that order. Don't go from 1 directly to the 6. What will be the consortium? Even worse. Not even the type of organization, what will be the consortium? It will be a very weak approach. This is why most of the proposals fail. They don't follow that order. Clear? Yes? Okay. Now get feedback. Get feedback on the proposal content summary for the targeted call, and you can contact or you can talk with your NCPs. Yes, this is important. Yes, on your NCPs, we have Meltem and Talia here that they are very active on that, so exploit them. We have the program. This is the program that the training is offered. So you have me, you have Odysseus to talk about your proposal idea. You have EC officers. Some of you said about lobbying. I will, even if you contact someone as a partner about the call topic, and they never reply to you, or they say, we're not allowed to give you that kind of information, you need to talk to your NCP for that. Maybe that's another response that you're going to receive. You still can say, what? That you are in communication with the EC policy officer, whatever her name is, about that call. Can you say that, yes or no? You can. To whom can you say that? If you are a partner, you can say that. If you are a potential partner, you can say that to a potential coordinator. All right. We have one question here. No? Here? Ah, you haven't heard NCP. Okay, that's interesting. It's national contact points. We have at the back Meltem and Talia. Please, yes, you can see them. Yes,
We
so
are
you can
national
ask
contact
them.
points in Cluster 6, and we are working on environment focused topics, circular bioeconomy, climate, and zero pollution. And Çağla is also NCP. We are working in TÜBİTAK,
You can see them.
the National Coordination Office. We are responsible with the coordination of Horizon Europe program in Turkey, and all the NCPs are in the same office, Cluster 5, 6, 1, and other ERC, EIC. And you can also always consult us and talk to each other, and yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't here. I didn't I didn't hear if you ask any question, but I'm. Ah, you didn't know that we're NCP. Okay, but we make a welcome speech yesterday, right? You know that. Sorry, I wasn't listening to you. I agree with whatever she said.
So the reason that you are here is because of Meltem and Celia. Yes? Why you're having this training here, they organized that. So a big thanks to them for that. And also you can use them for getting feedback. Now, of course, you can exploit some other experts depending on your network or some other key actors from previously funded projects. You can still contact them and see whether they can give you some feedback. Yes? First priority is previously related projects. Second priority is previously funded projects. Why? Because they have expertise of how a proposal is developed. But the more specific you are, the better it is. Good point.
We found from for this, nobody else responded to us like our previous preparation, proposal preparation. We contact them, but not the response.
I will tell you and this is actually what I will tell as a potential partner. You are doing always a mistake, and what is that mistake? You are asking and you are expecting to receive. You are asking to become partners if they are involved in a proposal. You are asking them to give you feedback if you are planning to submit a proposal. First,
The first question is we are asking to, do we have any preparation?
yes, that's the biggest mistake.
Okay.
Because
What is your
the mantra, as we will say also in, we're opening a bracket, but you will see, is give and shall receive.
Okay.
So give, what kind of things you can give now? They are participating in previously funded projects, maybe they are running ones. Give your availability to become a member of the advisory board, member of the stakeholder committee, nothing else, just that. But give first, because all of you, or all of us, sometimes we forget and we ask things. You can ask things, but first you can give.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So then we have the consortium, step 5C, finalize the core consortium. And Flavia yesterday showed to you a lot of different potential sources of partners. She said use your own network, but also there is a brokerage event. Do you know that? There is a brokerage event that takes place. You cannot see that clearly, but it will be in your notes. On 25th of December this year, there is a brokerage event online. So you have the address from your notes, register to that. What is a brokerage event? It's a matchmaking event. It's like a speed dating. Yes? You express your profile, your interest to join proposals. This is your expertise. Others might be looking for your expertise. The system automatically arranges some matchmaking, then you have to talk for a specific limited time. When that will be, I think the registration is still open. Yes? So make sure that you take advantage of that, the brokerage event. Then you can use the funding and tenders portal search. There is there a partner search facility, but I don't recommend you to do it. I mean, everyone is doing it, they're not doing that effectively. But if you have time, you can use also the funding and tenders portal search facility. But that's a lower priority. The fourth one is there was already an info day regarding cluster 6. You remember that Flavia mentioned that. So if you want to have a look also in your notes for other call topics, you can check. There is a you go to that list here, you will see also the presentations that were made regarding all the other calls. It took place 27th, 28th of September. It was 2 days. Why? Because we have to cover all the calls in cluster 6. And there is already a participant list. There is already a list of those that agree to share their contact details as participants of the info day in cluster 6. You check them also. Okay, you have them. Then you identify key actors from related previously funded projects. You use Cordis for that. Cordis is a huge database that deals with Horizon Europe projects. That's the link that you can link there. Whatever is blue is a link. And then we have, you can use some social media groups, yes, LinkedIn groups, mainly not Facebook groups, LinkedIn. So there is one that is called Horizon Europe Framework Program for Research and Innovation. So you can see whether there is any expression of interest. You can post your own expression of interest. And you have the Horizon Europe and other framework program. These are the most popular ones. Yes? These are the ones that they have the biggest number of subscribers in LinkedIn, those two ones. And you post in those social media groups your proposal summary and an expression of interest form. What is an expression of interest form? You say, if you're interested in my project, don't send me an email, complete an online form. How can you ask someone to complete an online form? What kind of tool you can use for creating an online form? A free tool? Do you know any? Google Forms. Google Forms, exactly. Yes, Google Forms. You can use that. Very good. Now, as I said also yesterday as a tip, because one of the best ways to be invited in proposals is to initiate your own proposal. You say, state that priority will be given to highly experienced organizations, so you show professionalism, that can involve you, so our organization, in other similar initiatives. You mentioned that. Maybe they can, maybe they cannot, but ask them to express whether they can involve you, whether they cannot, or maybe they can involve you. And you explore, what's this one, bio-based? You explore contacts from related European partnerships. Yesterday, Flavia gave some European partnerships these are public-private partnerships that they are active in some related calls. And we had, so you have here the secular bio-based Europe partnership that also Flavia mentioned yesterday. So see who has been involved. She has given you a link. You have the link also here. Who has been involved in those European partnerships? So you have an excellent pool of sources. Was there a question somewhere at the back? Yes?
Sorry, regarding the social media, I mean, I'm using LinkedIn, but I never get any chance to receive a like requests, invitation, anything. Like, is this, are they like really working well? Like, do you have some good outcomes?
So have you posted in a
I'm only
LinkedIn group?
using, sorry, I'm using only the B2 match, the website that is running by Commission.
Yes, you're saying now as a potential partner or as a coordinator?
A potential partner, not a coordinator.
Okay, now we talk about coordinator. So as a coordinator, if you are looking for specific type of organizations, I strongly advise you to use LinkedIn. And sometimes I will tell you a specific case. You might want to involve in the project policy makers like ministries. So if you want that kind of type of organizations that is not that easy to explore from your own network, you should use LinkedIn. Maybe the policymakers are not following LinkedIn, but people that are working with policymakers, they're watching it and they will reply back to you as a coordinator. Now, as a partner, I mean, this is for a coordinator. If you want to be contacted through LinkedIn and invite you in a proposal, it will not happen through social media. It will happen from your own network or with some other things that we'll discuss. But this is for a coordinator. Okay. Any other question on that? So this is very useful list. Please try to exploit them. And they can be extremely handful. And then step 6, coordinate the grant application writing. So you need to assign clear roles. This is very important as part A. Who writes what? Will you be the one that will be writing the whole proposal, or you will be assigning to work package leaders, for example, some of the things? You will be jointly working on the state-of-the-art analysis. Someone else will write the impact and the dissemination communication. But you need to say that. Who assures quality? Who will be assuring quality of the contributions? Everyone will be contributing. Who will be checking whether what you are contributing is of high quality? You need to have someone. Is it going to be the work package leader per work package? Is it going to be the coordinator? Is it going to be someone else? You need to make sure that you have clear role on that assigned. Who will evaluate the proposal as soon as it is completed? Who will support you in administration, contacting potential partners, asking them to, reminding them to involve associate partners, inserting all the data in the part A of the partners, yes, and helping you in putting the budget also in part A. Who communicates with externals? I mean, getting feedback with the NCPs, with the EC policy officers, with potential partners. You see here very clear needs that you need to have specific roles to specific individuals for those. Very important. If you don't have that, you will be spending a lot of effort on your own, because you will be doing all this on your own if you're a coordinator. Next thing, don't rely that much on email exchange, sending you their contributions via email and then getting lost, because Flavia said also yesterday, more than 50% of your communication will be based on emails. Try, that is still the case, but try to use an online word processing, Google Docs or something else, to contribute jointly, to see who writes what, to have a version history also. If you want something to go back to your initial version, also you can assign, you can have the online document and say, okay, you are responsible for that the text section, you are responsible for that, or you are responsible for that, or you are responsible for that one. So it's very easy. You can use Google Docs, you can use also online Office, but there are different applications that you can use. Then, of course, these are the elements that Flavia discussed yesterday. I'm not going to go through them, but this is just to remind you. However, I'm going to give you one rule here, the last one, because this is something that was not mentioned from Flavia yesterday. This is regarding budget, and that is, I want you to follow the 80-20 rule, and then the 70-30 rule. What is the 80-20 rule? The 80-20 rule is that 20% of your budget should go to dissemination, exploitation, and project management activities, so the horizontal activities. And the rest, 80%, should go to the implementation activities, the research and innovation activities. So user needs, design, development, integration, pilot testing, and fine-tuning. These are the research and innovation activities. So from the 20%, have something like a maximum 6% of the total budget to go to project management, and the rest 14% to go to the dissemination exploitation. Is that high? Well, most of the projects require a lot of dissemination communication activities. So it's always a good practice to have that kind of number. And then what is the 70-30 rule? The 70-30 rule is that if your project is a RIA, research innovation action, then 70% in a RIA should go to research activities of the 80%, and 30% of the 80% should go to innovation activities. The focus should be the budget, the largest budget should go to research activities in a RIA. What are research activities? User needs, design, development. And probably these are the main things. And innovation activities is integration and pilot testing. On the other hand, in an innovation activity, in innovation action, 70% should go to innovation activities, which means integration, pilot testing, demonstrating, upscaling, and 30% to research activities, user needs, design, and experimentation, as a very, very rough rule of thumb on that. So to have an idea. Any questions on that? Okay, then you have the proposal externally evaluated. You make sure that you finish the final draft 2 weeks before the submission deadline, so you have an expert to evaluate it. And here, I can tell you this, which is a nice feature that we have agreed with the NCPs, is that if you are involved in a proposal, we as experts, me and Odysseus, we can evaluate your proposal. That's for free. Yeah? Even if you are a partner, as long as you have the agreement of the whole consortium to have that evaluated. So if you, and that is a very extremely useful asset, because when you're going to contact someone as a potential partner afterwards, you're going to say, look, if you involve us in your proposal, we have, through the Turkey in Horizon 2020-22 program, to have the proposal evaluated by external expert. So that's another asset for you. Do you follow that? Because that's important. How that is going to run? You communicate with Meltem and Chalia, your NCPs, on that. They will coordinate that and they will forward that to us. Then you need to get detailed feedback on each one of the subsections. And as soon as you get the feedback, you address it. So you have something like, if you have the final draft ready in 2 weeks, it should take us 1 or 2 working days to give you feedback, normally 2 working days to give you feedback, and then you have something like 10 days to work on the weaknesses that have been identified as a consortium. All right. And the last thing is that you submit the proposal. Now you send a thank you message to all the partners, even to the ones that didn't contribute. but you remember that for the next time. Of course, you never forget. You forgive, but you never forget. You tidy up your office, everything will be in a mess. Your electrical, your e-folders, your hard drives, your office, whatever it is. And last but not least, you celebrate. And why you celebrate? For two reasons, and two very important. One, we keep fingers crossed, but it was a very big journey. And no matter what will be the result, you had to pass a lot of traffic lights. So you need to celebrate even for that. So that's one key reason. That was a big milestone that has been achieved, irrelevant to the final outcome. You gained a lot of experience. It gave you the opportunity to participate in other proposals as partner. You learned from that a lot. All right. That's the first reason. The second reason, and that's also equally important, is that you train your brain to start liking writing proposals. No one likes writing proposals, yes? Because it requires a lot of effort. But as long as you celebrate after that with your team, even virtually through Zoom, through whatever, it trains automatically. Celebrating means drinking even a cup of tea, not even a cup of beer or a bottle of beer, whatever, with the others, to have that team bonding. It trains the brain to start liking writing proposals unconsciously. All right, so that's why, that's another thing that you have to do it. All right, any questions? Because as you will see also in the tasks, many of those tasks that we ask you now, you can do them in the traditional way, but also you can use AI for that. And I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that. Yes? I'm going to give you, we have two tools. We have the bar tool. We have them, I think it's with T, not with D, but I don't remember. We will see that. An AI tool that is free. With that, we have ChatGPT 3.5 that is for free. We have a Bing that is for free. You will see some things that some of them can be done also through AI. Very quickly, we're going to show you. Any questions? So it's a big journey as a coordinator, but an exciting one, isn't it? It is. You're going to learn so many things. All right. Okay. Any other questions before we see the steps for the potential partner? So who is planning now, after this nice journey, to become a coordinator? We had 2 yesterday. Now we have 1? No. No, we have still 2. Okay. All right, that's good. So you need to follow these things. To discourage them. Yeah, you never know. Okay, let's be open for new ideas. Okay, so that's the path for coordinators. Now let's see the path for potential partners, which is the majority of you. Actually, most of you are here as potential partners. So let's see that also. If you are a coordinator, that doesn't mean that you should not be a part in another call. So also these are applicable for the coordinators also. So these are the steps that we need to outline. Step 1. Okay, again, you need to identify those calls that you can bring value. The key word here is bringing value. Offer, not asking. Offer, not asking. Then you need to put on paper, yes, what is that value? Okay, you believe that you can bring value to those call topics, but step 2, what are those values, those assets that you can bring in a proposal as a potential partner? You need to think about them. It's not only your experience. It's not only access to your resources. There are also other things that you need to think about them, and we're going to talk. Then you identify, as well as in the previous steps, previously funded projects related to the targeted calls. Okay. Then you need to engage with them, and I say intelligently, and this is what you see. You see not ask and shall receive, but offer and shall receive. This is the mantra that you have to use on that. Then you explore with those identified partners potential collaboration possibilities in your targeted calls. You will see that also. You make sure that you provide high value contributions. Now you've attended this training, you can do that. You know now more or less, you've seen what should be the proposal writing team. You've seen some tips from Flavia how to build the different sections. So you are able to contribute with high value. You can do that, even if you're starting from scratch. You have very nice examples. And of course, if when all this finishes, always you make sure you follow, make sure that you follow up and you stay in touch with all the ones that have been contacted. It's not contacting or networking is like muscles. The more we work them, the stronger they become. If we stop working them, what will happen? The muscles will get very weak. Yes or no? Yes. It is exactly how also communication should work. It's not one shot. Not at all. It's a continuous process. No? Okay, let's see each one of those separately. So step one, okay, what kind of value you can bring? And this is important. We have here, okay, the obvious one, which is experience on the scientific and research area of the call. Okay, that's obvious. But almost all of them that are targeting this call, they have that kind of experience. So that doesn't make you that competitive. You need to find extra ones. Another one, which is also very important, is access to essential infrastructures. You have here some people that are from the water utility company. Or you can connect with them and you can have them in your in the consortium. So make sure that either you offer them or you have access. You can provide access to infrastructures that are related to that call. Very important. Maybe if you have been involved or if you are already in contact, that's the key word, if you are already in contact with previously related funding projects or with actors from those projects, you can say that I can involve in this project as a starting point those partners that have developed those projects, those results from those projects, and we can use them as one of the starting points in our project here. That's another value that you can bring. Do you understand that? So you can connect with previously funded related projects, have a discussion, and then we will see how you're going to connect, and then see you can bring them to the project and their solutions. Another one is that you can have access to key actors, end users, policy makers that are in the call. Ministries, for example. Maybe you have access to that, the Ministry of Environment, the Ministry of Development, the Ministry of Interior, whatever is related. 5, ability to conduct, and this is for me very important. If you if you want to be very attractive, you need to make sure that you are not just one partner from Turkey. You are bringing the whole pilot from Turkey. Maybe you are the only one that is going to get funded, but you can bring as associate partners all the others that can be involved for running the pilot successfully in Turkey. So we're going to use the project results, you're going to contribute them, you're going to develop them along with all the other partners from Europe, but what you're going to do is you're going to test those results through a pilot with associate partners from Turkey, whatever is going to be developed in the Europe. Are you going to be the only pilot of the project? Of course not. But you're going to be one of the key pilots. Why? Because you have all the key actors involved. So make sure that you have that asset. Associate partners, I repeat, what are associate partners? Do they receive funding or not? They don't receive funding. But they are interested in the project results. Why? Because the expected outcomes are going to be extremely useful for those partners, associate ones. So that's why they will be participating. So you have that. Understanding the specificities of the call, you have that already done, at least for destination 3 and destination 4. Or you do know how to do that for all the other calls after this training. So there is no excuse on that. If someone of you doesn't feel comfortable with that, you need to come back with us and explain to you how you can do it. Because this was the whole purpose of the training yesterday. Connection with the related EC policy officers. I repeat, and this is important. If you have already communicated with a policy officer, and even he rejected or even he replied negatively, you are still in communication with that EC policy officer. Yes or no? Yes. So you use that. Competency to provide, now you are able to provide high value contributions to proposal writing. You do know that. From Flavia's training yesterday, there are no excuses. That's another asset that you can bring, value. And of course, you can bring what I said before, a high caliber consultant, EC expert to evaluate the final draft for free from the Horizon Turkey Horizon 2020 program. The end of this years. And you need to coordinate that through the NCPs. Clear? Huh? So, how many? We have 9, instead only 1. That's the obvious one. So you pick the ones, you select the ones that are the most appropriate. Clear? Okay. Then we proceed. Step 2. Any of the ones that are applicable from your, okay, you outline your assets, you write them, the ones that are applicable in your case, because not all 9 will be applicable in your case, but the ones that are applicable. I mean, definitely it is 1, it's a question mark for 2, definitely it is 3, you need to do that, everyone should do that. You should try to do with a question mark 4, you should try to do with a question mark 5, everyone should do 6, should be able to have 6, everyone you will see should be able to do 7, everyone should be able, based on the training yesterday, to do 8, and everyone should be able to do 9. So there is question marks only for 3 of them or 2 of them. So you see which ones you are. And for example, for prove your experience, okay, we have that if possible for the state-of-the-art analysis, so you can prove that here by giving a preliminary state-of-the-art analysis with the limitations for a winning project. That's one thing that is optional but highly recommended. Specify specific names from EC policy officers. From well, how do you do that? How did we do it? We went to the info day. When the info day took place, remind me. When? Of cluster 6? When it? September, end of September, so a couple of weeks ago. So you watch the videos and you see now the names of the presenters. These are the EC policy officers. You make a note of their names, and the European Commission uses the following notation. First name dot last name at ec.europa.eu. Mainly, apart from the Spanish ones and Portuguese, that they have a second surname, which is with hyphen second surname. But most of them are with this one. So it's first name dot last name at ec.europa.eu. So Rosalinda Scalia, what should be her email address? Rosalinda dot Scalia at .europa.eu. Thank you for that and for paying attention. So you have that. So you send them an email. You might never receive a response. If you receive a response, it might be negative one. So you can say, we are interested in this project. What is your advice? Something like that. Most of the cases will say, contact your NCP. That will be their approach. Still, but you are in communication with them. Huh? Or complete, yes. Something like that. Okay. So you have. And now, you identify previously funded projects for all these calls. These are the calls that Flavia discussed yesterday. Yes, you try to go to Cordis. Yes, you try to identify previously funded calls with specific keywords. You take them from the call, the keyword from the title. The main keywords are from the title of the call. Yes, and you search in Cordis of previously funded projects. Yes, so you identify previously funded projects. So that's fine. Then, what is also important is to make sure that you can find the email addresses of individuals, because it's not enough only to have the names of projects. So how can you do that? Well, you can do that by going to the project websites from the Cordis. That's one way. Looking in contact details in the project website, looking for names of authors of deliverables, public deliverables, and then going to Google and asking Google to look for that. Or there's another way using an AI, as you will see, for doing it. But there is a way, either the traditional one or the most AI one. So you have the contact details. Then you send an email. And as I said, give and you shall receive, not ask and you shall receive. So you send an email, start with an honest compliment to open the floor. Congratulations about the project and explain why. It has to be an honest one. We liked you. I really like your project because of its big ambition, because of the expected benefits for end users like us, whatever. But it has to be honest. Then you elaborate your high interest and expertise in their key research area. And now this is the offer. Express your offer to get more involved in the project. Yes. As a peer reviewer, as member of AB stands for advisory board, an external group of end users or stakeholders, a speaker in any of their events, give and shall receive. This is the most important bullet here, the bullet number 3. And then ensure you get a response. Whenever you send an email, you follow up, you send a second email. If you don't still receive a response, you follow up over the phone. Find the phone number of the switchboard of the organization that that person belongs to and talk to them. And persist to get that. So that's it. You have engaged intelligently, you offer something. Did you ask here to get involved in a proposal? No, not yet. You have to work strategically on that. You offer your expertise. Then, step 5P. Explore with those partners potential collaboration possibilities. Now you offered something. As soon as you offer something, then you use the applicable assets that we've seen, what your values are from step 2, whatever these are, and you highlight them to those partners after you have established communication, after you're a member of the stakeholders group, after they have invited you in an event, after you're already in communication, even exchanging mutual interest in the area, then you start highlighting your assets and why shall we meet now specifically for exploiting that call in cluster 6. But you do that, now you're asking to do that after you have already offered something. That will be in your second level of communication, in your second stage of communication, in your third stage of communication. And we have also an example here. You cannot see it here. Okay, the analysis of the projector is not so good. In the slides, you should be able to see it. So we say here, I am, and I decide to contact you based on your expertise. So this is the second email. These are the things that I can offer, whatever it is from your value. I hope we will have the chance to work together and prepare a successful proposal. But this is the second stage communication. So you have that in your notes, or you can have something else, as you will see. So you prepare that email. And then you provide high value contributions in the same way that we discussed. But instead of coordinating now, you can suggest what we need for having a successful proposal, what kind of team we need. You're suggesting now because you're a partner. You're not a coordinator anymore. So you're suggesting that to the partner. And also all the important elements that you learned from yesterday. End of today. So that's step 6. And as I said, step 7 is like muscles. The more you work, the stronger they become. So always, even if it is not, if it doesn't end up to a partnership in a specific proposal, you still need to keep in touch with them. So find interesting topics to share, related publications, events to join, calls to collaborate. So maybe you'll have the opportunity to collaborate in the next call. Offer to join advisory groups consistently. Explore twinning and teaming actions. This is interesting because you have already communication with probably a high research researcher from a high research performing country, from Scandinavian countries, France, Germany, and you can exploit twinning, widening actions to network. You can participate, you can coordinate a proposal to exchange knowledge. There are specific kinds of actions in Horizon Europe that support collaboration with high research performing institutes. And you get funding for that in a specific topic. So you can explore those also. We had a training in twinning in June this year. We're going to, so you can see that also from the help desk of the program, the recorded version. And as a tip, again, you can use Bard or something else for doing it, or ChatGPT. And this is important. That's my last slide before we have our break, where we're going to see how we're going to work on those. Okay, so we have some tasks for you, and Celine is going to help me on that. I'm going to show you. So the first task, the morning tasks, is you can do what we have explained to you. Task 1, deconstruct your targeted call, so the ones that you should be interested in. As a coordinator, as a partner, you've seen that already. And you can do that in the traditional way, the one that we just discussed, but you can also experiment, if you want, with the AI way. So, Celine, can you click a little bit on this link? Check this, the about, so we can. Okay. Do they allow? Can she share his screen, Celine? Can she share the screen? Her screen? Celine?
Yeah, I will. Wait
Okay.
a second. I just need it.
Perfect. Uh, do you want to come from the PC over here, Celine? I think come to that from here. I think it's better. Or maybe this is the one, I don't know. Let's see the yes, or let's see the tasks first overall. Let's see the task, the slide. Let's see the slide. The last slide, no worries. Last slide. Only the last slide, nothing else. I've been a trainer for 15 years. My biggest challenge is electronics, by far. Not the audience, not what I'm going to train, but that. Okay, stop here for the time being. Thank you. So let's see the tasks one by one, and then we will see the AI, if it works. So you deconstruct your targeted goals. Do you know how to do that? Yes or no? Yes, perfect. Then identify contact details of previously funded projects. Well, for that, you go to Cordis, the traditional way. You go to Cordis, you put into Cordis the database of previously funded projects, the keywords of the calls that you're interested. You see previously funded calls. You have already the keywords from the previous slide. So then you identify those projects. Also, Cordis gives you the possibility to download a list of those projects. You download them, you have them, and then you go to the project website on each one of them, and you look for the contact details. This is a tedious task, but it has to be done in a traditional way. Then you prepare an email, yes, that base similar to the one that you have in your notes, and you contact them. And that will be your tasks for the morning. And we would like to see, you will be working in groups. I will separate you. And then I would like to see reflections on that, on your experience by doing those tasks. And that will be, and then we will go for lunch. After the lunch, you can repeat the tasks for another call, because you might not target just one call. You can target 2 calls as a potential partner also, or 3. So you repeat that for another call that you're interested, exactly those tasks. And you prepare, if you're a coordinator, a proposal concept summary. We can help you and give you some feedback while you're doing that in the afternoon, for the ones that wish to coordinate a proposal. And again, you reflect your views on that. Yes. So this is the traditional way. And now let's see how we can do that also by AI. So Celine, can you go to the task 1 link? think okay. Can you enlarge it a little bit? Can you make it, can you zoom in? Thank you. So what I did, I went to BART Google AI. I said, okay, I would like I said to them, cluster task one, I'm an experienced researcher. This is the chart that I started. With 10 years experience in circular solutions for textile value chains, based on extended producer responsibility, EPR, extended. This is a keyword, I don't even understand it, but it's a keyword that is mentioned in the call topic. All right. You wish to submit a proposal for funding under the Horizon Europe call. You mentioned one more, let's stay in the first paragraph, thank you. Your Horizon Europe call, that is the code, yes. I give the link also. Can you identify and provide in bullet format the most important elements from this call that an application should consider? I asked that to see, I experiment. Don't expect many things. So, okay. And then the AI replies, as an experienced researcher, a little bit up, yes, together with more years experience, from this call, I believe I need to consider the following. And it gives me specific objectives, expected impacts, scope, so also give me some other elements that can be useful for me to consider. I take them. All right, so task one has been completed. Is it a perfect one? No. Does it need validation? Yes. So this is where the human intervention goes in. But it's a good starting point. So you have something in bullet format. Thank you, Celine. Let's go to the next one. So it gives me some further things that I need to consider and say, I hope this information is useful. Okay. I'm very kind, so I say thank you. Then I go to the next step. Oh, wait a minute. Yes. Can you identify from codes? I try to experiment. Previously funded projects that are related to the above topic. It says, I could not find previously funded projects. It gives me something. These resources provide this. And I say, thank you, but this is not what I'm having a dialogue here. But this is not what I want. Can you please identify the contact details of individuals saying in specific, and I'm giving him the projects, the name of the projects that I took from Codis. He says, I could not find any contact details of individuals organizations that are, but okay. Thank you for this, but this is not what I want. I repeat that just in case. And let's go next one. It gives me something, but it gives me something that is really irrelevant. Can you go down, Celine? Thank you. It doesn't give me, it just gives me the names, nothing else of the projects. Rubbish. So I said, okay, a little bit go down, Celine. Okay. So I apologize for the lack of contact information. Okay, no problem. I will use Bing for this integrated internet. So I will not use you, I will use Bing. So now can we go to Bing? So that's the second task. Can we go to the next link? This one, yes, thank you. Can you enlarge it? Okay, so we have this, I have searched the web. So I ask him, okay, please give me the contact details. So I put copy and paste what I asked from BART. I asked that from Bing now. And Bing says, okay, this one. And you see now, if you go, can we see the rest? Or what is only this? If you, what is this here? Anyway, if you've seen that, I mean, you don't have to repeat that. If you see that, it gave me, for all the projects that I've given, the project name, the organization, an email, and of course it had also the name, yes, Lieve Hoflack, and then his email address. So Bing did it. So task 2 was completed. Should you do it with AI? No. You do it, you can do it the necessary way. You look in the internet from the project websites, you go there and you look for contact details. But it can do that. Then the next thing that we have, then you go back to the BART, to the other window, Celine. Yes, the first AI. It's the other window, the other window. The other window, the BART window, the other one that you opened. The one that we were before. Is this Yes, I think this one. So now that task 3, okay, I found the contact details. Now I say, look, I'm a policymaker active in EPR in Turkey. Can you prepare an email of maximum 3 words that I can send to potential proposal applicants? Yes, this is what I ask. Says, yes, why not? Dear potential proposal applicants, I'm a policymaker active in ERP. I have over 10 years of experience, so she remembers that from the first. I have a number of skills and resources that will be valuable for your proposal. I have a strong network. I didn't say anything else. I didn't say the assets. So you can work also and add your assets. Yeah. So he prepared an email, thank you, and etc. That's it. So whether you're going to do it through AI, through the traditional way, it's up to you. But you have to do it. So before the break, I would like to split you in. Thank you, Celine. So we can go back to the last slide now. So I would like to split you in groups to work on the tasks. Is that clear? Okay. Shall we do it? Okay. So we have the tasks. So I would like the first group to be these 3 tables. Please see your mates and network also. I would like your network is a nice opportunity. Yes. So that's the first group, group 1. This is group 3. Please see your colleagues so you can network. All right. This is group 3, group 2, group 3. Okay. Check your colleagues here. And this is group 4. Yeah. All right. So you know, does everyone knows what is your team? Does everyone knows what you have to do? Not how, but what? Okay. So you deserve a break now. All right. So we come back in 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, whenever you wish, maximum 15 minutes, and you work in your groups. You can modify the chairs, turn them around, but work together. All right.